Spaceship was actually recorded sort of 18 months to nearly 2 years ago, and it was a long time before the band. It was a long time before I even thought I wanted to get into another band and stuff, and it just occurred to me for a while that I hadn't been to a studio and I hadn't recorded my own music for a while, so I sort of decided to myself that I'd record 4 or 5 songs, try and do it all on piano. I had always written on guitar and was always writing on guitar, but now I wanted to set a new challenge and I wanted to try and make more piano-based music. And so I whittled sort of 4 or 5 ideas together over the space of a week and decided I was going to go try and record 1 or 2. I was unsure of where to go or who to do it with, and funnily enough, at some point in that year before I'd written the songs, I had to go down to a studio called Kensal in London, had to go pick something up, and by chance I met a guy there called Clem Cherry who works at the studio, and he was like of a similar age and he just had a good vibe, and we had a very brief conversation, not about music, not about anything, but it was just weird. I just remembered when I was trying to find studios and places to do it, I just remembered this offhand conversation that I'd had with Clem, and I decided to contact him and see if he fancied doing some recording, and he was up for it. And so me and him got together, got into the studio, and I played him the 5 ideas. I think at the time Spaceship sounded a lot different to how it does now, and it was just this sort of honky sort of clav sound and my sort of half-arsed high-pitched voice and stuff, and I liked it, but I didn't think it was a sort of main contender out of all of those. But Clem instantly tuned into it and was like, I think this one could be cool, and I was like, well, I'll roll with your opinion, and sort of got moving from there really. The process of recording was actually super simple, but I think that's more a testament to how good of a producer and an engineer Clem is than my pinpoint accuracy, knowing exactly what I want to record and stuff. You know, I gave Clem lots of references, and he just had this great ability of just knowing exactly what I meant when I was trying to find a sound or a sonic and stuff, and just lots of different things that I feel that he did when we were in the studio that I didn't really think about until afterwards. I mean, in the middle 8 of Spaceship, there's all these like bleeps and bloops and all sorts of, and it sounds very random, and quite literally at the time in the studio I was sat at this old like lovely like jazz keyboard, and I had my back to Clem, he was sat behind me, and he had Spaceship going on, and I was just fanning around on the keyboard, just like literally just pressing anything, and he didn't say he'd recorded it, he had just done it, and yeah, and then that was just in the track, and he picked up bits, and he picked bits he liked, and constructed this thing, and it's just things like that where I think when you bring an idea you really like, and you can capture the imagination, and you're working with someone that you've got a good vibe with, you can get products that sort of far exceed your expectation, I guess. And I'd say it's big credit to Clem how that came together, and within sort of, I think it was about 3 days, we had 5 days, and it was within 3 or 4 days, pretty much 90% of the music stuff was there, and yeah. There's a lot of ways in which people sort of approach songwriting, and some people can be super personal and other people have to keep it general, and I think in my case I'm so horribly close to home. I can't help but write in sort of the most personal way possible, and so for me I find it quite difficult to really discuss what songs are about. But also on a general level, like, I personally don't ever seek to really find what people mean in some songs. You know, I really like to take my own interpretation, and I think it's important from my end. Everyone can take their different approaches and stuff, but for me I think you should take what you want to take from Spaceship, do you know what I mean? And so yeah, make of that what you will.